Alright, welcome back to. Actually, this is the start of a brand new review series. This is Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider, which is also my 50-second series I've checked out this year. Yes, believe it or not, 52. Yep, it's a spin off series of the original Kamen Rider series, and, well, it's kind of interesting. We start with main character as a kid, where actually, the first time was an adult. The episode opens up with we see a 40-year-old man punching a tree and then fighting a bear. Yes. Who also thinks he's a Kamen Rider, practicing Rider Punch a lot. And he has voice. As soon as the first thing I hear, like, oh yeah, that's Patrick Stoltz. Yep. Patrick Stoltz. Excuse me, which is now, this is the 28th series I heard him now. Yep. Where you see, and we see a flashback where he's like, "Oh, gotta watch some Kamen Rider," and of course, his mom, voiced by Morgan Berry, which is the 15th series I've heard her in. Yes, last series I just heard her in was actually a series that actually just wrapped the second season. I was reincarnated as a prince. Took my time to reflect on my ability. She's the voice of Selfie, the swordswoman who's also basically the prince's maid, and also she has sort of an obsession with him, where she tends to act like he's like her own child because she likes him to bathe with her. Yep, that's kind of what the character is. That's one of the traits of the character, but one of the main traits. So, his mom goes off, and then we jump ahead to him in high school, where by sheer randomness, a girl decides to confess her feelings for him. And apparently it was a bet she lost, and then he runs to like some riverbed, which is a thing for both Sentai and Kamen Rider. She does have feelings for him, and all of a sudden we see this guy wearing this white suit from a rival school, where he proceeds to beat the crap. Basically, he decides to be very much insulting toward her. Him being a complete gentleman, proceeds to beat the crap out of him by breaking his nose and beat his friends. And then he decides to bring a whole gang of guys to beat him up at his school. And then apparently he takes off his shirt to reveal that he apparently drew the henshin belt on his belly. Not sure why the heck he did this for, but he did. And then he proceeds to beat all of them up, and then he leaves the girl alone. We jump at the present day, where apparently he wants to sell his Kamen Rider merchandise. From what I can tell is that he still loves his merchandise. He's still a fan of Kamen Rider. He's probably want to sell it, probably because basically that he probably has debts to pay off, and he probably doesn't want, like, in case he dies, he doesn't want anything bad happen with his merchandise. Probably wants somebody to take care of it, which he's pretty reasonable. And then he's home eating some food and looks at his smartphone like, oh crap, we have supposedly the rear shocker show up. Well, they're terrorizing people at a fair. So he goes to the fair, looks around, eventually puts on a Kamen Rider mask, not a helmet, a mask. They put in your face, and we have the guys who are acting like Shocker, who work for a gangster who apparently is false fan of the series, but he's more fan of Shocker than, well. And also apparently these guys were impersonating the Shocker Comet Men, where, like, they preach the skin mask, but they don't like basically the gesture stuff, but they had no choice anyways, and then the episode ends with, well, him confronting them in their ski mask, him wearing the Kamen Rider mask, and I'm asking, who are you? He says, I'm Kamen Rider. And then he proceeds to beat the crap out of him. Post-credits scene, we see a woman dressed as electric human tackle, and she's voiced by Kamen Click a Beard, which is the 35th series I've heard of recently. Yes, 35th. And I just recently heard, just this week, that her 11-year-old son, is now a voice actor. Yes, believe it or not. I'm like, yes. Her 11-year-old son, Rhodes, is cast in this movie called Little Emil or The Children of the Rain, where he's under the additional voices cast, but technically this is his first role. Like, I'm thinking, wait, this kid's 11 years old and he's already in a movie already? Like, I guess he wants to follow in his awesome mom's footsteps. Yeah, and the fact I've seen her with him a couple times in a couple videos where they basically do some unpacking. I guess, and also, get this. I've also seen on Twitter that she's posting this a lot where hashtag watch One Piece with family, where basically she is watching the show with her son and her husband, watching One Piece, and I think they just got to like episode, I think it was like 1023, I think it was. And I did mention to her, like, look forward to like a later episode because something happened with Nika Rob, but I don't want to spoil it for the kid. And I have also asked her this, basically, like, who does she compare basic parents to? Like, his dad, like Sanji, and her. This I think she's the voice of Luffy, and she mentioned to me this on Twitter that she, like, according to her son, that his awesome mom is like Nika Robin. And I'm sure for a fact probably that she is probably arranged to have him meet the entire voice cast. Aside from the fact that, well, she voices Luffy, I'm sure that it's very easy for her to just text messages them and say, hey, my son is like, hey, my son wants to meet the whole dub cast. And they're like, sure, no problem. I'm sure it's pretty simple for her. I've never, like, seen those videos. First, I knew she had a kid. I did not know what he looked like, though, but, hey, at least I appreciate the fact that she's actually, like, if I can tell, it seems like she's an awesome mom. Yep. But very interesting episode. Also, she criticizes in the character. Oh, and there's a reason why next episode of why the heck she's dressed like Tackle. Yes. Of why the heck she dressed like a character from Kamen Rider Stronger. And there will be two other characters pop up here who are from a completely different Kamen Rider series. And we see basically the guy's merchandise. He has like statues, all this stuff for Kamen Rider merchandise. The only Kamen Rider merchandise I have is a figure Skyrider. Yes. But really interesting first episode. This series is currently on the air right now, so I'm going to review the series on Sunday, despite the fact that it comes out Saturday. Because if I view this Saturday, I'll be up to 7 shows on Saturday. And that's a bit too much for me, so I'm going to move this one for today. Basically, for Sundays. I'm going to watch 2 more, watch the next 2 episodes. And then afterwards, I'll watch another series, Conflict Period in, done watching stuff for it, One Piece. And then after that, I'll be Run My Half, then Spy X Family, then I'll be caught up on my anime. And there'll be no Sentai review today because, well, the series took a week off. I guess they figured out why not. I'm not going to question for it because they probably occasionally they take a week off, but there's that. And plus also, they didn't leave out on the cliffhanger last episode. They basically, well, there's something will happen, but it won't happen until the following week. Apparently also the current Kamen Rider series basically is off for this week for some reason. Yeah. But that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next up basically is, well, watch the next episode of this one, okay? Next video. Bye.